Texas Showdown of 2022 event by Colton Dennis. Hello everyone and welcome to Texas Showdown. And I hope everyone is doing great, said announcer number 2. Same here. And tonight Tempest defends her title against Eternity. And I can't wait to see this one, said announcer number 1. Me either. I guarantee. Tonight is gonna be a night to remember, said announcer number 2. Rhino appears backstage, then takes a sip of water. James Dennis appears behind Rhino. Hello Rhino, said James. Mr. Dennis, said Rhino. Please Rhino, it's James. I want all my wrestlers not to feel obligated to call me Mr. Dennis, said James. Alright, what could I do for you? Asked Rhino. Well, I came by to ask, since you're here tonight, why not put your title on the line? What do you think? Asked James. Alright, I'll put my title on the line. But who's my opponent? Asked Rhino. Well, that's what I wanted to tell you. Since you are a fighting champion, and you love to fight, how about you defend that title in a 10-man battle royal? Asked James. Rhino nods his head. Alright. Plus I had no choice, right? Because you are still my boss, said Rhino walking away. Beldings. This match is scheduled for one fall. Is a 10-man battle royal. And is for the US Continental Championship. Introducing the challengers. Wrathhog, the Crippler, Hercules, the Scout, Quake, Thunderbolt, Chaos, Sergeant, the Bodyguard. And the US Continental Champion Rhino, said announce number 3. Beldings. All 10 start attacking each other. Both Quake and Rhino are punching each other. The Bodyguard throws the Scout over the top rope. The Scout holds onto the top rope, then pulls himself back into the ring. Hercules and the Bodyguard are punching each other. The Bodyguard knees Hercules' stomach, whips him into the corner, then runs at him. Hercules boots the Bodyguard. Sergeant tries throwing Chaos over the top rope. Chaos holding onto the top rope. Sergeant is hitting Chaos's back. Chaos groans. Sergeant is trying to throw Chaos over. The Crippler runs, then throws Sergeant over the top rope. Sergeant lands onto the floor. Sergeant's gone, said announcer number 1. Wrathhog clotheslines the Scout. Kicks the Crippler's stomach, sets him up, lifts him, then does a suplex onto him. This is my title and no one else's. This is mine, said Wrathhog turning around. Quake appears. This is yours. This is your title, said Quake. Wrathhog holds up Quake's right arm. Hold up. We're friends. We're friends. Remember, we won our match to be here, said Wrathhog. We're not friends, said Quake, going for a clothesline onto Wrathhog. Wrathhog ducks, runs, bounces off the ropes, then tries clotheslining Quake. Quake staggers. Wrathhog runs, bounces off ropes, then tries clotheslining Quake again. Quake continues staggering. Wrathhog sighs, then kicks Quake in his testicles. Quake groans, then falls onto the mat. I told you, this is my title. It's mine, not yours. It's mine and not any of yours, said Wrathhog, pointing at the crowd, then turns around. Thunderbolt dropkicks Wrathhog. Wrathhog goes over the top rope, then lands onto the floor. Well, that's what you get when you brag, said announcer number 2. Both Hercules and the Bodyguard are punching each other. The Bodyguard goes to clothesline Hercules. Hercules ducks, runs, bounces off the ropes, then tries clotheslining the Bodyguard staggers. Hercules runs, bounces off the ropes, then tries clotheslining the Bodyguard again. The Bodyguard staggers again. Hercules runs, then bounces off the ropes a third time. The bodyguard grabs Hercules by his throat. "This is where it ends for you," said the bodyguard. Hercules moves the bodyguard's right hand, lifts him up, then slams him onto the mat. "Oh my God! Hercules just lifted the bodyguard off his feet," said announcer number 1. "I can't believe that either," said announcer number 2. Hercules, groaning, then leans against the ropes. Chaos grabs Hercules' leg, then throws him over the top rope. Hercules lands onto the floor. With that body slam, it took all the energy out of Hercules. "That's why he wasn't able to hold on," said announcer number 1. All 5 are attacking both Quake and the bodyguard. Quake shoves Rhino, the Scout, and Thunderbolt. The bodyguard shoves both Chaos and the Crippler. All 5 stand up, then start attacking both Quake and the bodyguard again. Quake shoves all 3 of them again. The bodyguard shoves both Chaos and the Crippler again. Both Quake and the bodyguard stand straight up, look, then start punching each other. Quake bounces off the ropes, then tries clotheslining the bodyguard. The bodyguard staggers, bounces into the ropes, then clotheslines Quake. Quake falls onto the mat. The bodyguard turns around. All 5 start attacking the bodyguard. The bodyguard shoves all 5 off of him. Quake slowly stands up, then turns around. The bodyguard lifts Quake. Quake, squirming, then lands onto his feet behind the bodyguard. The bodyguard turns around. Quake lifts the bodyguard, walks towards the ropes, then dumps him over the top rope. The bodyguard lands onto the floor. "The bodyguard is eliminated," said announcer number 2. Quake turns around. Chaos punches Quake. Quake groans, then pushes Chaos. Both Rhino and the Crippler are punching Quake, then bounce him off the ropes. Quake double clotheslines both Rhino and the Crippler. "Come on, this is mine. Mine time," said Quake, turning around. Thunderbolt dropkicks Quake. Quake falls into the ropes. Thunderbolt grabs Quake's right leg, then tires, lifting him over the top rope. Quake elbows Thunderbolt's back. Thunderbolt groans. The Scout punches Quake. Quake pushes the Scout. Thunderbolt dropkicks Quake again. Quake goes back into the ropes. Both the Scout and Thunderbolt bounce Quake off the ropes, then do a double drop kick. Quake goes through the middle ropes. Both the Scout and Thunderbolt high-five each other. The Scout knees Thunderbolt's stomach, grabs his head, then throws him over the top rope. Thunderbolt lands onto the floor, then looks up at the Scout. The Scout shrugs his shoulders. Rhino hits the Scout's back. The Scout falls onto the mat. Rhino continuously kicking the Scout. Chaos pulls himself up with the ropes. The Crippler runs at Chaos. Chaos pulls down their top rope. The Crippler goes over the top rope, then lands onto the floor. "There goes the Crippler," said announcer number 2. "We're down to 4, said announcer number 1. The Quake slides into the ring, then clotheslines Chaos. Chaos rolls outside of the ring. Quake looks at Rhino. Rhino turns around, then looks at Quake. Come on, said Rhino. Both Quake and Rhino start punching each other. Quake knees Rhino's stomach, then whips him into the corner. Rhino groans. Quake runs at Rhino. Rhino moves. Quake goes face first into the corner, groans, then turns around. Rhino lifts Quake, slams him onto the mat, runs, then bounces off the ropes. Chaos grabs Rhino's legs, then pulls him outside. Both Chaos and Rhino are fighting outside of the ring. The Scout pulls himself up with the ropes. Quake is slowly moving. The Scout jumps onto Quake's back, then tries putting a sleeper hold onto him. Quake runs, then goes into the corner. The Scout groans, then lets go of the sleeper hold. Quake walks out of the corner. The scout runs, then jumps onto Quake's back again. Quake grabs the scout's head, then flips him onto the mat. The scout groans. Quake walking away, then looks at the scout. The scout pulls himself up with the ropes again, then turns around. Quake runs at the scout. The scout pulls down the top rope. Quake goes over the top rope, then lands onto the floor. Quake's been eliminated, said announcer number 2. The scout pulls himself up with the ropes, smiles, then turns around. Rhino continuously clotheslines the scout, lifts him up, slams him onto the mat, runs, bounces off the ropes, then does a leg drop onto him. Chaos climbs onto the ledge of the ring. Rhino punches Chaos. Chaos falls onto the floor. Rhino looks at the scout, then lifts him onto his right shoulder. The scout squirming, then lands onto his feet behind Rhino. Rhino does a back elbow onto the scout. The scout groaning. Rhino goes to clothesline the scout. The scout ducks, runs, bounces off the ropes, then goes for a crossbody. Rhino catches the scout in his arms, then places him over the top rope. The scout elbows Rhino, then lands onto the ledge of the ring. Rhino groaning, then goes to clothesline the scout again. The scout ducks, grabs Rhino hair, then slowly pulls him over the top rope. Both Rhino and the scout at the ledge of the ring, then start punching each other. Rhino kicks the scout's stomach, then lifts him onto his left shoulder. The scout squirming, lands onto his feet on the ledge of the ring, pushes Rhino, then rolls into the ring. Rhino staggers, then turns around. The scout bounces off the ropes on the opposite side of the ring, then does a crossbody onto Rhino. Rhino catches the scout in his arms, then lifts him onto his right shoulder. The scout is squirming. Rhino turns around on the ledge of the ring. Rhino, don't jump off, said announcer number 2. Rhino does a running power slam off the ledge of the ring. Both Rhino and the scout land onto the floor. Bell dings. Here's your winner and the new US Continental Champion. Chaos, said announcer number 3. Chaos slides into the ring. Referee number 1 hands the title to Chaos. Chaos grabs the title, then raises it. Rhino looks at Chaos, then holds his head. Chaos is our new US Continental Champion, said announcer number 1. Wait, since Rhino lost the title, does that mean he's been fired? Asked announcer number 2. I don't know, said announcer number 1. Tempest appears in the locker room getting ready. James approaches Tempest. Tempest, I'm sorry to do this to you, but we need to postpone your title match. I have a lot of stuff I need to do that deals with Rhino and his contract. But don't fret. This coming Blood Rumble, you'll have your match with Eternity, said James walking away. So, there won't be no ladies championship match tonight, said announcer number 1. That stinks. But I don't blame James. Because what happens to Rhino now? Asked announcer number 2. I don't know. Well, folks, since we now have this predicament, we need to call it a night. We want to thank you for watching. Be safe out there and good night, said announcer number 1. Bye bye, said announcer number 2. Both announcer number 1 and announcer B number 2 take off their headsets, walk around the ring, then up the ramp. The end.